Okay, yeah. What makes you feel accomplished?
Well, I feel a sense of accomplishment personally when I set a goal for myself, such as completing my college degrees. Done that 3 times. So each one of those graduations, wearing the cap and gown, receiving my diploma or my degree, putting that on the wall, having pictures of it. That's very important. I think that celebrations like graduations are very important, affirming type of human experiences, and that when a person sets a goal and accomplishes it, I think it should be recognized by that person as being something worthwhile, and it should be recognized by people around them. So my family has traveled with me to my graduations, and um, after of course, my kids were old enough to travel, and in my educational pursuits since I've been married, when my all three of my children are college graduates, and we have traveled to each of their graduations and celebrated with them. So I think that that's important. Externally, in dealing with other people, as a pastor, when I teach a biblical principle and the person applies it and they realize, hey, this works, this really works, and I see the blessing and the fruit that comes into their lives, that's also a sense of accomplishment.
Is what you're doing now what you always wanted to do growing up?
No, in a word, no. I thought that growing up that I would become an attorney. That was my goal when I was in eighth grade, and we did career awareness and so on. I thought that being an attorney would be very, very rewarding work. It also goes along with my personal inner sense of right and wrong and having things done precisely and with clarity. Um, and so that was what I was going to do in eighth grade. Then, as my voice developed and I took voice lessons and music lessons, I thought that I would um, do something involved with music. But partway into my college career, I realized that I had gotten started a little bit too late with piano studies to make music uh, a major. So that became my minor, and I ended up majoring in education and becoming a teacher. And I thank good college advisors for helping me see what my potentials were and where there were job opportunities. Now, teaching has been very, very rewarding. So, helping students learn to think, imparting vital knowledge to them, has been very, very rewarding. I've taught public school, I've taught private school, I was a private school administrator, and all of that has been very, very rewarding. In addition to that, for most of my life, I've also been bivocational. I've pastored churches uh, where it was not possible for the pastor to receive full-time monetary support. So I taught school, and then I pastored as well. Um, but a couple times in my life, I have been a full-time pastor, as I am now. I was also that way in the late 1980s. And being a pastor is something that um, I believe that God put in my heart, because it wasn't a decision that I wanted to pursue. But I became very aware of the need, and God really did a work in my heart, in my mind, to show me that this is where He wanted me to be, and that dealing spiritually with people's um, helping people develop the relationship with Jesus Christ has been extremely rewarding. And I'm glad that He led me that way.
When do you think a person is ready for marriage?
Well, I believe that most people are not ready for marriage probably until they're 22 or 23. I know that from a human development standpoint, that in the first 3 to 4 years after people graduate from high school, the ages 18 to 21, 18 to 22, they're doing a lot of finding of themselves. And people that are very often are high school sweethearts grow and change in the years between 18 and 21 or 22 as they experience the world, as they go to college, as they go to the workforce. So I think that a person is better served if they're 22 or older, and the statistics show that people who get married later tend to have marriages that last longer and are more successful. The other another aspect of that is that if people have a long courtship, um, between at least a year, going on 2 years, and taking that time to have a constructive courtship in which they develop their relationship, and they spend time doing a lot of wide variety of things together, um, a lot of interaction, getting to know each other, getting to know each other's families. Um, that those understandings, the understandings that are developed because of a long courtship, also help people get ready for marriage. And then good premarital counseling, which I think is extremely important, because a good premarital counselor will help the couple explore things that they had not thought of. And a good counselor will become aware of things in those sessions that need to be explored, things that potentially can be a great help to the couple after they are married, and things that have the potential to become a roadblock to further development of the relationship. So, age, long courtship, and good premarital counseling are three major keys that I see to helping a person prepare for wedding, for a marriage.
What is a relationship deal breaker for you?
Well, if people really have different worldviews, and are you talking about a marriage still?
Yes.
Okay. If people have um, very diverse worldviews. For instance, I don't think that it's good for. I can't see a Christian having um, very many chances of having a successful marriage relationship with an atheist, because their approaches to life are going to be different. I think that it would be very difficult for a Christian to have a good marriage to an ardent Muslim because of the differing views on the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So I think it would be very difficult in today's world for a Jew to be married to a Muslim. So worldviews and spiritual beliefs are very, very important. Um, I also know that 85% or more of all problems in American marriages, that's, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in American marriages, are related, the difficulties are related to finances. And so if a couple has very differing views about the value of and how to handle money, that could be a real deal breaker. Um, and then there are some things that we'd have to be concerned with. Um, Very antagonistic views of the in-laws, because families can put extreme pressure on a husband and wife after they are married, and so I would be very concerned about good relationships with one's in-laws as well as one's own relatives.
What has or what is the craziest thing you've ever done, and would you do it again?
Oh wow, craziest thing I've ever done. I don't, well, I wouldn't do it again, but it was a pretty crazy thing when I was a kid. I had a when I first got my first two-wheel bike. It had like 12 or 14-inch tires, and we lived up on a hill, and the road up the hill was um, a gravel road. And I decided that I would try to ride my bike all the way to the bottom of this long hill, and it was very, very bumpy, and the bike went flying and flipping, and I ate a lot of gravel that day. I don't know that I would want to do that again.